Hey, welcome! Today we are going to make fractions, well, simple. If you've ever felt a little lost with numerators and denominators, you're in the right place. We're going to break it all down in a really visual way.
Think about it. Anytime you share a pizza or split a bill, you're using fractions. They're literally everywhere. They're just a way to talk about pieces of a whole. And today, we're going to get really good at it.
So to get started, let's just introduce the one simple picture we're going to be working with.
Okay, so take a look at this. We have a band, and its total length is exactly 12 centimeters. And as you can see, we've chopped it up into 6 perfectly equal parts. This one little band is going to help us unlock the secret to how all fractions work.
First things first, before we do anything complicated, let's figure out the size of just one of these little pieces. This is the most important step, for sure.
So, looking at our band, if the entire thing is split into 6 equal parts, what do we call just one of those parts? Exactly. Since there are 6 pieces in total, each one is 1 out of 6, or what we call 1/6 of the entire band. Makes sense so far, right? Okay, so knowing it's 1/6 is great, but what does that mean in actual centimeters? How long is it really?
Here's the key. To find 1/6 of a number, you just take that total number, in this case 12, and you divide it by the bottom number of the fraction, which is 6. You're literally just sharing that whole length out among the 6 equal parts.
Let's just walk through it. Step 1, you start with your whole, which is 12 centimeters. Step 2, you divide it by the number of pieces we see, which is 6. So what's 12 divided by 6?
And boom, 2 centimeters. So each individual piece, each 1/6 of our band, is exactly 2 centimeters long. That's our first big takeaway.
Perfect! We've totally nailed how to find one piece. So now, let's kick it up a notch and see what happens when we start grouping these pieces together.
Let's go back to our band. But this time, we're not just looking at one tiny piece. Let's look at the bigger section that goes all the way from point B to point E. You can see it covers a few of those parts. So how would we even describe this section using a fraction? Go ahead and count them up. How many individual pieces do you see between B and E? If you counted them, you'd see you've got the part from B to C, then C to D, and then D to E. That's 3 parts. And since each one is a 1/6, 3 of them together make 3/6 of the whole band. So how do we find the length? Well, this is where a super simple 2-step rule comes in. First, you do what we already did. Find the size of one part. So 12 divided by 6 gives us 2. Then, for step 2, since we want 3 parts, we just multiply that answer by 3. And there's our answer. 2 centimeters per part times the 3 parts we want gives us a total of 6 centimeters. That section from B to E is exactly half the length of the whole band. Now that we've got this 2-step rule, divide by the bottom, multiply by the top, let's put it to the test and see this pattern in action. Just check out this table. Let's take section AC, for example. That's 2 parts, so it's 2/6. We do our rule. 12 divided by 6 is 2. Multiply by the 2 parts we want, and we get 4 centimeters. Or look at AF. That's 5 parts. Same deal. 12 divided by 6 is 2, and 2 times 5 gives us 10 centimeters. Are you seeing the pattern here? It doesn't matter which section we pick. The method is always the same. You find the value of one little part, and then you multiply by how many parts you actually care about. It just works, every single time. So what have we really learned here? Let's boil this all down to one single, powerful rule that you can use pretty much anywhere. This is it. This is the golden rule. It seriously doesn't matter what the fraction is or what the total number is. You always divide by the bottom number first, and then you multiply that answer by the top number. And that's what's so cool about this. It's not just for a little 12-centimeter band. This is how you'd find 3/4 of 100, or 2/5 of 20, or even 7/8 of 1,000. The logic is totally universal. And just so you know, the official terms, that bottom number, that's called the denominator. It tells you how many equal parts you're dividing the whole into. The top number is the numerator, and it just tells you how many of those parts you need to count. So yeah, divide by the denominator, multiply by the numerator. So let's leave you with this final thought. You have the rule now, and you know the logic behind it. Using that exact same golden rule, what's 2/5 of 20? Give it a shot. I bet you've got this.